This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Everything Everywhere All at Once is a remarkable movie. Densely packed with comedy, action, and drama, it is a grand multiversal adventure and also an intimate familial story. In the film, an ordinary working-class mother is tasked to save the world from being destroyed. To do that, she must channel the talents from different versions of her across the multiverse, from a sign spinner to a kung fu superstar. And in the role of the multidimensional mom is the heart and soul of this movie, the legendary Michelle Yeoh, one of the trinity of 90s kung fu stars. But do you know? Everything Everywhere was originally meant to be a Jackie Chan movie. From its humor to its fighting style, you can definitely see how that would work. But I think we can all agree that Michelle is the superior choice. Because in most movies, Jackie is just acting as himself.
Jackie again?
Michelle Yeoh, on the other hand, is an actress of 1,000 faces. She was a Bond girl, a politician, a geisha, and many more. Sometimes her characters are so different from each other, you can barely recognize her. Heck, she's in the MCU twice. That's why we all love her in the role. There's no other actress who embodies the multiversal kung fu mom better than Michelle Yeoh. Today, let's take a look at the career of this living legend, an actress whose career looks crazier than the multiverse movie she acted in. This is the 1,000 Faces of Michelle Yeoh. This is Michelle's first acting gig, a commercial with Jackie Chan. She entered the film industry as a pageant queen, which means she was already typecasted as a pretty woman, just like most women in action cinema at the time. Michelle was aware of that and actively requested to be in fights, just like the man.
We should get the equal opportunity to be where they are, or get to where they are.
Luckily, the then newly formed D&B Films needed something new to set the films apart from the competition. So they cast two newbies, Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock, and began producing a female-led modern action film, Yes, Madam. With her background in dancing and sports, Michelle proves to others that she can not only do it, she can do it better than most. That is her doing the stunts. The film caught the audience off guard, with slick actions performed by not one but two women. What a statement. But that's enough about the action. Let's instead take a look at Michelle's character. In the film, she plays a cocky police inspector.
I cut my hair short, I was tanned.
This is her first starring role, 2 years after her pageant victory, and she already looked nothing like her commercial appearance. She was in her 20s, and she was already a chameleon actress. Yes, Madam was a great success, launching the career of both its starring actresses. Michelle would continue working with D&B Films, starring in 3 more movies, rocking the same short hair look in Royal Warriors and Magnificent Warriors. From beauty queen to inspector, from ballet dancer to a Gatling gun wielding badass, even this early in her career, Michelle actively fought against stereotypes and proved to the world that she can be whoever she wants. This, however, could have been Michelle's entire career. Back then, it was common practice for Hong Kong actresses to get famous in the industry, retire early, marry young, and have children. Michelle Yeoh was no exception. She married the head of D&B Films in 1987 and will retire from acting. But, as we all know, that's far from the end of the story. Say if you're an actor with career aspirations, you are going to need a website from Squarespace. It's truly the best way to show yourself off to the world because unlike social media, it doesn't require logins and is infinitely customizable. You can use it as your portfolio or list your upcoming event appearance, or you can start a fan site for your actor friends as a gift. Simply pick a template that's a personal and CV category and go with the one you like. The editing process cannot be simpler. But if you need help, Squarespace also has 24/7 customer support. Start your free trial at squarespace.com/accented-cinema and use the code accented-cinema to get 10% off your first purchase. You can build your entire website with your free trial. No need to commit until you're ready. Visit squarespace.com/accented-cinema and show yourself to the world. In 1991, 4 years after the marriage, Michelle Yeoh and her then husband officially divorced. The reason was never disclosed, but that's not important to us anyway. Michelle immediately returned to acting, both as a form of distraction and as her passion. Having previously worked with Stanley Tong, Michelle was invited to be in the next Jackie Chan movie. And that movie is none other than the biggest movie of the year, Police Story 3.
Personally, it was a very important movie at that time because I had moved away and retired from the film business for about 4 years. Police Story 3 Super Cop was my first comeback.
Michelle stars as Inspector Yang, a mainland Chinese police officer who goes undercover to bust a drug cartel. Instead of the feisty young woman persona, Michelle looks much closer to her signature look today, an imposing lioness not to be trifled with. Yet underneath her stoic look, she's also a bit of a prankster. When she sets up Jackie to be beaten up by her soldiers, from this smile, you can tell there is a devious heart underneath her no-nonsense appearance. Up until this point, none of Michelle's roles demand much dramatic acting, but you can still see her talent shines through, even in small details. Behind the scenes, Michelle also deserves much respect. She continued doing a lot of stunts, bigger, better, and more dangerous than ever. The film propels Michelle's career to a new height. She went from a retired B-list action star to the highest paying actress in Hong Kong, an S-tier icon, right next to Jackie and Jet Li. For the next decade, Michelle would star in a wave of female-led action films. In Heroic Trio, she teamed up with Maggie Cheung and Anita Mui to fight against Imperial loyalists, and the film is every bit as awesome as it sounds. In Holy Weapon, Michelle is one of the 7 maidens who fight against Japanese pirates. Yes, they are all female team-up movies. These films put a very strong emphasis on the power of femininity, which is another thing Michelle pushed for from her first starring role. Michelle made it clear that she wants to be strong as a woman instead of a woman posing as a man.
I don't want to look like she has to maintain a sense of femininity.
Michelle's fight changed the landscape of Hong Kong cinema and gave other actresses a much wider range of roles to play with. By the mid-90s, Michelle has been in a wide variety of roles with different looks. Their personalities, however, don't differ greatly. They are all the same confident kung fu fighting warriors. It's not very challenging, which clearly is not how Michelle Yeoh lives her life. So, Michelle would expand beyond kung fu movies and begin acting in more dramatic roles. In Agam, Michelle plays a mainland Chinese martial artist who seeks a career as a stunt double in Hong Kong. With director An Hui at the helm, Michelle was given a lot more room to play with her characters, and you can definitely tell. In this scene, she approaches Samuel for her first stunt job. Rather than her usual confident and arrogant attitude, Michelle is a fish out of water. Look at her hands. She's nervous but excited, and there's a naive innocence behind her demeanor. You can see what kind of person she is before she left the mainland for Hong Kong. The Song Sisters is another high-profile drama she starred in. In this historical drama, Michelle plays the eldest sister of an influential family who helped establish the Republic and later the People's Republic of China. From a loving yet stern lady of the family, to the leader of a political movement, to an aging woman leading the fight against the Japanese invasion, for the first time, Michelle proves herself as a competent, if not an excellent drama actor, with or without action. Her career in action and drama would collide in her most career-defining role so far, in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. What can be said about this movie that hasn't been said before? Let's put it this way. For this movie, Michelle has to learn proper Mandarin, perform wire works, fight with no less than 4 different weapons, and acting alongside the legendary Chow Yun-fat. It was a very demanding film. But we all saw that movie, and we can all agree that Michelle Yeoh pulled it off like no one else can. Michelle plays a peasant-class warrior woman who's too bounded by traditional Chinese morality and struggled to face and express her own desire. This reserved and cold demeanor is her most understated performance yet. Look at this moment where her love confesses to her. See that subtle smile? See how happy she is. But then self-doubt, shame and fear begin to appear as well. Her smile changed back to a polite one, a fake one. A battle unfolded in her heart, all expressed through her subtle and masterful acting. Crouching Tiger's success made a name for Michelle on the international stage. People around the world saw her versatility. Naturally, she'd be the next global sensation. It was the mid-90s, and the world was caught by the Kung Fu mania. Hong Kong filmmakers were bringing the art overseas, and The Matrix would cap off the decade by revolutionizing the industry. Naturally, the next Bond film will have to have some Kung Fu too. Barbara Broccoli, who produced every single Bond movie since GoldenEye, pushed for stronger female characters in the franchise. And for Tomorrow Never Dies, they wanted someone who can be Bond's equal. And who else can equal Bond in terms of badassery other than Michelle Yeoh? I remember watching this movie on TV as a kid, and yes, I watched Bond movies as a kid. I was absolutely mesmerized by Michelle Yeoh's aura. It's actually pretty rare to see Michelle playing a traditionally sexy female character, but she pulled it off effortlessly. Yet, she also appears in action-appropriate attires, functional clothing like a pair of sneakers. You mean she doesn't fight in heels? It's almost like she's not just there to look good. While not the most beloved Bond film, I think Michelle Yeoh's performance did leave a legacy. To this day, Michelle is seen as this glamorous ass-kicker, and this is likely the film that introduced the archetype into her career. Post Crouching Tiger, Michelle's acting talent would be recognized worldwide. As a result, Michelle's post-Hong Kong career is quite a bit more colorful and varied. She played a famous geisha in Memoirs of a Geisha, and makes one of the most memorable film entrances of her career. Even just from her upper body movement, you can see her walks like a trained geisha. She talks and smiles. A raise of an eyebrow from her is both flirtatious and dangerous. It conveys so much history about a character's life, yet it all comes out through such small details.
I see the character as a real person who needs to have real emotions, a path.
One of her most iconic portrayals, however, comes from an unexpected place.
You will never be enough.
Everybody loved the line when I said, "You will never be enough." Everybody's always very scared when I say that. John Chu said, "You terrified me."
I agree. In Crazy Rich Asians, Michelle plays the matriarch of an extremely wealthy family. She's fiercely devoted to her family and very much a conservative woman. Despite playing yet another high society woman, the difference between this and her previous roles is night and day. You can tell she's not the type of woman who puts her emotions on display. Yet you can easily read her emotions, like her disapproval. Just the way she walks exhibits a different type of elegance, a different type of confidence, a different type of danger. This Michelle knows she can control you. This Michelle is already in control. The nuance she brings to these characters is subtle yet visceral. I struggle to describe it with words, but I'm sure we can all feel it. Michelle Yeoh would play an important supporting role in Shang-Chi as the loving warrior auntie, another matriarch, yet much kinder, although nevertheless stern. It's nice to see Michelle getting to fight on screen again. And with that, we have come to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. In the film Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Michelle plays an ordinary working-class mother who's tasked to save the world from being destroyed. While the character in the film has to channel her abilities from the multiverse, the Michelle Yeoh I know of only needs to look into her acting career to find a multiverse worth of lives, experience, and talents. Look at all these characters, you can barely tell they are the same person. For her entire career, Michelle has been fighting on and off screen to break away from any and all roles that would confine her. She's ever-changing, constantly evolving, and it's the reason why Everything Everywhere can only truly work as a Michelle Yeoh movie. It's kinda crazy to think that Michelle's career has yet to reach the top. She'll be in at least 5 different movies in 2022. And with her recent success, surely she'll bring in even more iconic roles in the future. And that's great news, because with Michelle, you have no idea what she's going to bring. A martial arts folk hero? A terrifying mother-in-law? A mainland Chinese officer? A Bond girl? Or all of that in the same movie? Whatever it is, you just know Michelle will fight tooth and nail to make it the best, most exciting thing ever.